This program guessing game is going to have a more typical use of an overloaded function. So we're going to make just a traditional, guess the random number game. It will be giving the user hints whether they got a number that is higher or lower than, whether their next guess should be higher or lower, just to zero in on the final number. So because it's going to have some random numbers, this is where we should include our time library, include time.h, and then we'll start this with the srand time null. So it will randomize that first thing. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'll explain a little bit of the game. We'll need a couple variables here. So we'll have a choice. So this is going to be a user's game mode that they're going to pick. So there's going to be an easy version and a hard one. We'll have the user's guess, the secret number, and then we'll also have a high and a low number, sort of like in the range. So what we're going to do is we will begin by letting the user pick their mode. So we'll start with an instructions function here. So at the top, we'll go void instructions. And here we'll just display the beginning. So cout welcome to welcome to the number guess game. So maybe I'll put an extra end L here just to split this up a little bit, and then I'll put a cout select your game mode. And so this is going to be standard, which is going to mean no range given. And then the other version, so I'm going to go end L. The other version here is going to be, we'll call this one easy. I like assist mode, where there is a range given. Okay, so the user is going to pick between these two options, and then it will begin the game. So after the instructions, what we'll do is we'll prompt them for their choice. So cout enter choice, and we'll cin the choice. We'll assume the user is going to be entering either a 1 or a 2. So what we're going to do is if they enter 1, what we're going to do is we'll be entering the standard game. So if the choice is 1, then what we're going to do is we are going to get our random number. So let's make the secret number is going to become equal to a random number from 1 to 1,000. So this is going to be random modulus 1,000 plus 1. So this is going to be our random number. And then what we're going to do is we are going to start a loop that will prompt them for guesses until they get it correct. So when we get out of here finally, we'll assume that they are correct. So we'll just put correct. Okay. And then in here, what we're going to do is we're going to prompt the user for a number. So cout, enter your guess. So we'll see in the user's guess. And then what we're going to do is we are going to use a function called give hint. So what give hint is going to do is it's going to take their number and tell them whether or not their next guess should be higher or lower than their current guess. So the two pieces of information that it will need for this will be the guess as well as the secret number that has been decided upon. Okay, so now let's program the give hint function. So go all the way up to the top. Void give hint. Now we have to put the parameters here. So this is the two values that I'm getting, and I'm going to double check so I don't get them. It's guess and then secret, not secret and then guess. So we'll int g and int s. So sometimes I like to abbreviate them a little bit because this line can sometimes get awfully long. So sometimes they'll use a single letter abbreviation for them. So what we're going to do is if g is larger than s, so that means that their guess was larger than the secret number, we'll say guess lower. And then alternatively, else if g is smaller than s, we're going to cout guess higher. So what we'll do is we'll run the program. Seems like I've got an error here. Oh, you know what? I've got a do loop without a while condition here. So while guess does not equal secret. There we go. So we'll try that again. Okay. So it says, welcome to the number guess game. I am going to pick standard. And, oh gosh, I hope this doesn't take too long. So 375, let's go 300, 275, oh my gosh, 260. Guess I need to move this up. Guess lower, let's say 255, 253. Oh, 235, 253. Keep moving this up. So guess lower, 252, 251. Okay, it might be off the bottom of the screen there, but just trust me, I got it right. So anyway, pretty much what that does is it goes through until we're correct. So here's where we use overloaded functions sometimes. Is we're going to treat this is kind of like the default version of this. So this is the default. You know, we get a guess, we get a secret number, it tells us whether we should guess higher or lower. Now the advanced version is where we are going to actually have a range incorporated here. So here, else if the choice is equal to 2, and just so I don't forget about it, maybe I'll put an else condition. without a condition, else cout incorrect input. So if they gave something as a choice that was not 1 or 2. Okay, so now if this is selected, what we're going to do is we're going to have our high number. So we're going to randomize everything. Our high number is going to be a random number. Let's modulus this. 151 plus 150. That should give us a good range. And you always want to make sure that if you're doing something like this, then the low number cannot exist anywhere in this range, or otherwise it will cause a bit of a problem. If our high number ends up being, say, like 170, and the low number becomes 180, then it's going to mess things up. So we'll make sure that these ranges will be completely exclusive. So our low number is going to be maybe let's go from 1 to 100. There we go. So I've got a high and low, and then the secret, we're going to use the formula. So the secret is going to be random modulus high minus low plus 1 plus the low number. So this is the very standard way of getting a random number. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this loop. So we're pretty much doing the same thing, except what I'm going to do now is I am going to also incorporate into this function the high and low to verify that they did not guess something outside of the range. So I'll go up to the top. So now I'm going to kind of reuse this thing. And then if this is the default version of my function, this second one is going to be like a more of a special case. So this one not only will say guess lower, guess higher, but it also will int. Now I gotta verify I'm doing this in the right order. High and then low. Int h, int l. So I'm also going to tell them if they got the number out of range. So now when you're doing these as conditional structures, as an if-else ladder, you put the most extreme cases first. So if G is larger than S, well, if they guess a number higher than the high number, we don't want it to accidentally say guess lower. We want to say that they are out of range. So that's what I'm going to start with. So if the guess is smaller than low, or the guess is larger than high, so in either of those cases, I am going to cout guess out of range. And then I'll put an else if here. So else if, and then what it'll do is, as long as the guess is not out of range, it's going to check these two things. And then what I also have to do is I have to tell them what the range actually is in the prompt. So this is another change that I have to make. So enter your guess. And then what we'll do is we'll change this to be oops. I'll put in parentheses what the range is. So this is going to be low to high, close parentheses, colon, space. Okay, so we'll see what this looks like. So this is the game on assist mode. So if I pick number 2, okay, so now I have to get a guess from 15 to 170. I'll pick 100. Okay, so I know that it's higher, but if I misread this and put in 200, now it's going to say that the guess is out of range. So that's, I'll say 150, 160, 165, 167, 168, 169. Okay, and then I finally got that right. I'll put a little correct thing here, just like I did in the first one. And there we go. So the purpose of this was to show a common usage of overloading function names. So give hint, there's two versions. Typically, when you're overloading, there might be like a default, like this is what I'm usually going to do. And then a specialized case, like otherwise, if we need extra inputs, this is going to be the secondary thing that this function is able to do.